Hello everyone. As we start second lockdown, Alice has asked me to share a few thoughts about how it affects us. I think it is really important to be aware of how people are feeling and coping at this time, and to respect that this is just how it is for them at the moment. This year has been a real roller coaster, and it affects people in different ways at different times. We can be God's ears in the world, listening for where the needs are, when we're prepared to ask others genuinely how they are doing. We were blessed to have a week away in Norfolk in our caravan pre-lockdown too. It's the simple pleasures in life that make it so very enjoyable for us. We could relax and get away from it all. And I always return to the verse, "Be still and know that I am God." Like Pete Moran told me years back in my teenage years, this is a verse we can mull over for many years. I didn't understand what he meant at the time, but now I do and appreciate it. When we slow down, we can do this more. But also, when concerns overtake us, it is a fabulous verse. In many ways, family life isn't much different going into lockdown too for us. We're always quite busy. Family life with 2 teenagers and a dog, school and work continue for us, albeit in some different ways. We miss going to Mass physically, but have the bonus now of joining with Sion again for online Mass. We actually found lockdown 1 a positive for our family, and we all drew closer together, spending time with each other. However, when we came back from holiday and as talk increased about lockdown 2, about COVID getting more of a grip, presidential elections, etc., along with being a bit hormonal, I could feel some anxiety rising, and I became quite emotional for a few days. I felt unable to relax, very sensitive and grouchy, as Ray and the kids can tell you. I felt fat as I'd put on some weight, and to be honest, I felt quite useless. I was checking the news and my phone way too much, and this wasn't good for me. I had to return to God's truth and the "be still and know that I am God." The things that help me if I'm feeling a bit low are expressing gratitude for all the good things in my life, going on countryside dog walks, which we often call all walks as we marvel at all that is around us, baking, quality time with family, talking to good friends, prayer journaling, and also recognising what difference I can make myself. When I felt myself again, I was able to reach out to help others. I simply offered on Facebook for anyone who needed a listening ear. And after Alice asked me to speak the other day, I jotted down just some of the different needs I came across last week. First, there was supporting our team of music therapists in their work and listening to their worries and concerns. There was a mum with a child with severe special needs who fits multiple times daily and is classed as extremely clinically vulnerable. She was really confused and disappointed and frustrated as her child was no longer allowed to return to school after literally having just had her first half day back in 9 months before the government changed their plans again. I could just listen to how she felt. There's a friend who's a single mum, and she was made redundant during the last lockdown. She was feeling low, but I could take her daughter who loves animals on dog walks. Another person was feeling really anxious about sending her child back to school as she cares for vulnerable relatives. Her husband is currently furloughed, and that also brings with it other worries. She felt no one understood her position and thanked me for reaching out to her through texts. There was a family where all 6 had COVID. I couldn't do much, but just offering a text, sending a text and offering if I could do anything made them feel a little less alone. And we're particularly noticing adults with learning disabilities who are feeling very isolated and trying to provide music therapy more for these. Another friend works in a school and felt she'd lost her spark in half term. I was able to give her a little care package of chocolate and bubble bath. And I listened to my hairdresser about how she was scared of getting depressed again in lockdown and how she was going to put in more routine this time round. I'm not mentioning any of these things to blow my own trumpet at all, but to show that we can help others by doing little things. We have the Mother Teresa quote on our kitchen wall, which says, "We cannot all do great things for the world, but we can do small things with great love." There are so many needs and issues out there, and we all have our own moments of vulnerability and worries, be it health, financial, family, work, or lack of work. The list can go on. Yet even though it's had its many challenges and disappointments, and there's still much uncertainty, while we were away, our teenage son Benjamin said he's glad to have lived through this year because it's been interesting, memorable. We've done lots of different things, met new people, especially in our road after we set up a WhatsApp group to support everyone. And we've been able to live more simply. That's lots of positives. I believe we can use this challenging time as a positive and use it for God's glory. We can be vulnerable to ask others for help when we need it ourselves. And we can also be God's listening ears and helping hands in the world, sharing his love with our neighbours and each other.